Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Geek Bytes Podcast. I am Ramon Mejia.
And I've been gone for a while. I'm Edgar Acosta.
And every podcast we bring you the roundup of the week's specs, geek and tech news. We discuss that news and of course anything else that we're interested in this week.
In Geek News this week, we'll talk about Google's phone. Yep, their phone. Oculus announcements, Wolverine 3, and Blade Runner titles, and much, much more.
Absolutely. And this week we're going to begin our show though with Geek News. In Geek News this week, we're going to be beginning with the announcements from Google, their new phone and stuff. We're going to begin with the 5-inch Pixel and the 5.5-inch Pixel XL OLED phones. They're going to have built-in phone AI assistance, accessible by pressing the long home button or speaking a keyword. So think like Alexis or Siri, only actual AI, and hopefully better assistance than they are. Additionally, the camera is marked as the best ever, according to DxOMark. You can get it in a 32 or 128 gigabyte model, USB-C, one 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So they have a headphone jack, unlike the iPhone, and also 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is quite a bit for a phone. Additionally, you're going to have free unlimited photo and video storage, 24-hour, 7 days a week, live customer support. You can get it in these 3 colors at some point: quiet black, very silver, and really blue. And that blue really does look really blue. It's going to be exclusive to Verizon unless you want to buy an unlocked version, and which you can use Google Wi-Fi. It's going to be $649 or $227.04 a month. Let's see, up to for the larger versions, it's going to be $869 unlocked. It'll be available for pre-order today in the United States, Australia, Canada, and the UK. So this is kind of a new venture for Google in making their own phone. This is the first one that they've had a really big handle. They've also produced the Nexus line of phones, but they've only really been involved in that in like the last 10% of making that phone. In this particular version of their phone, they've been in the process the entire time, from designing it to setting up manufacturing, to sourcing parts and all that good stuff. So it's a great thing for them. We are going to comment on everything after we read the list of all the Google announcements. So next up we have
the Daydream View, Daydream View Gear VR. It's running for about $79, coming out in November. It looks a little funky for me. It has a fabric headset with a wireless remote, NFC connection to Pixel phone, a slate at launch, snow and crimson later. Pretty much, I think it's the colors. Daydream View and controller will go on sale in November for $79. So it looks like a Hatbox purse thing.
Yeah, it's basically Gear VR that's covered in fabric instead of plastic. So it looks cool to me. Again, we'll talk about everything at the end. So right now we're going to move on to the next Google announcement, which is Google Home. Google really wants you to buy all their stuff and make it like your central hub for everything. All these things apparently interconnect. But the Google Home is actually a built-in Google Assistant. It looks kind of like the Amazon Echo, slightly longer. So if you're into size, this is the one for you. It plays music, controls devices, finds information, and manages your tasks, everyday tasks, effortlessly. It'll connect with both your phone and your Google Wi-Fi or anything like that. So you can basically just have your virtual assistant do a bunch of tasks, including like connecting to your television and pulling up movies, information for you. Just saying, "Hey Google, what's the highest mountain in Africa?" And it'll give you a response. Or you can say, "Hey, play the latest 9 Inch Nails song," and it'll automatically go onto your apps and pull up your Spotify or Pandora and start playing things without you having to pull out your phone and connect everything. So it's kind of a neat thing. But the next announcements from Google was, of course, Google Wi-Fi. Again, Google is trying to be the central thing you buy everything for your home for. Google Wi-Fi starts at $129 per piece, or for a 3-pack for $299. It's available for pre-order in November and is actually going to be shipping in December. So these might be nice Christmas gifts for that tech person in your life. It has modular Wi-Fi coverage. Network assistance automatically adjusts the signal. An app that lets you manage Wi-Fi access for users. So if Your kids might get a lesser Wi-Fi experience, or guests have a different amount of access to your Wi-Fi. They can all have separate passwords. You can have separate passwords for every individual person, so not everybody has your core password for your Wi-Fi router access. These are all great things. It is going to be again $129 or three for a 3-pack, $299. I'm not sure who's ordering a 3-pack, but if you're a tech and geek guy and you want
Big ass
multiple gifts,
house.
or if you have a big ass house, that might be another option as well.
All right, continuing on our QVC portion on of our sales. Next item is product number 447G. Is the Chromecast Ultra, running for $69. It comes with a 4K HDR and Dolby Vision. Google Play Movies adding 4K in November. Ethernet port and power adapter, running once again for $69 in November. So it's pretty much the upgraded quasi Chrome, like if you happen to have, which I'm still actually rocking the older version. I haven't updated to the hockey puck yet. So you want to start going down the list of what do you like, what you don't like, what's blowing your mind?
Sure, absolutely. I'm excited about two things in particular: the Google Chromecast and the Pixel phone. The Pixel phone is interesting to me just because the Nexus line of phones were always super interesting, high tech, but at an affordable price. But they also weren't made by Google. This seems to be more of a higher end marketplace kind of version for Google. So it's their first entry into the more expensive space that the iPhones kind of have, and they're on par hardware wise with the iPhone. I think personally, I'm going to prefer the Pixel version of it because, again, you have the ability to customize your OS. You have all the customizability options for the Android marketplace. Plus, it's going to be bloatware free. Hopefully, since it's from Google. Most of the time, when you get your Android devices, they're from some telecom. Samsung, whoever, T-Mobile, whatever the case is going to be. And they have their own custom Android software in addition to a bunch of apps they pre-install for you that some kind of bog down the system. But with Nexus phones and hopefully the Pixel, you're not going to get that kind of thing. And so you're also going to get great root access to your system and all those great Android options. For Google Chromecast, I'm always just happy to see these kind of devices there. I'm probably not going to get this because I don't have a 4K TV and nobody I know has a 4K TV, but I see that Google's trying to future-proof their particular streaming dongle. I do like the fact that it does support 4K and HDR and Dolby Vision, and that it's only $69. I mean, so you can't beat the price for something this great that's going to hopefully stream 4K television to you at some point. What are you excited about on this list?
Well, I'm not a specs junkie on it, but yeah, I want to check out the phone. If anything, it reminds me almost a bit of the remember when Xbox not Xbox, excuse me, Microsoft tried to do its own little Windows phone kind of thing, and kind of just on it. Nothing on it's really kind of blowing me away about like functions or features. It's all going to be, let's be honest, it's all going to be about the apps. And if the phone itself can handle those apps and be able to come up with the performance. The funky thing is the Daydream. It once again, it looks like a fabric covered shoebox or / person that you can slap onto your face, which is okay, but nothing's not falling in love with it. I think it's gonna wind up being in the like clearance bin anytime soon. The Google Homes, yes, just like the Echo system, it's gonna be cool, but I wish it could be modified the way you could modify your GPS. Have like Sam Jackson kind of respond to you, like like, hey Sam, and he goes, what bitch? Like, so then you start having like can I have the weather today, motherfucker? It's hot outside, like that kind of shit. So, but that's just me, just for the entertainment purpose. But once again, the Ultra, nothing of it is blown away other than comparing it to like the other Roku systems where you actually have, which is kind of cool, the actual controllers. You actually play games on it, which has been awesome. But once again, I got the older one, haven't even upgraded, so I'm not rocking no hockey puck yet.
Yep, absolutely. So I see what you're saying. The Google version of the Gear VR is essentially their entryway into virtual reality. It's kind of a mid-range system. It's not Google Cardboard, so it's not that cheap. It's not as expensive as an Oculus Rift, so it has that same place as the Google Gear VR rather. So they've kind of seen that it's a big seller. That also promotes phone sales because it's an additional thing that's in the realm of virtual reality, which is super popular at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I see their interest in this particular marketplace, and I think it's a nice entry point. It's slightly cheaper than the Gear VR. So awesome! I'm really happy that they're able to kind of get this kind of thing going.
Yeah, it's just a matter of what's going to come out next. Right now, nothing, to be honest, blown away. Everybody else has a Chromecast like device.
Yep.
There's a variety of VRs headsets. Like I'm seeing them, and off once again we talked about they're selling them at a Walmart. So says something about that. And of course, if they can make them out of cardboard, it doesn't say anything much that's about them that's going to blow me away. And everything else, it's a waiting game once again. Great holiday shopping, so gonna get you started on it. So if there's a little special somebody you want to get something for.
Absolutely. We can think of some people with some fancy televisions who could probably use that Google Chromecast. Okay, but moving on to some more tech announcements, we have Oculus Connect that happened this week. The Oculus Connect is a yearly press event held by the virtual reality company Oculus, where they announce all their new products, any new games, any new things that are coming. And they had some interesting announcements this year as well. They're developing a standalone virtual reality headset like Gear VR. Again, another company that's seeing that wireless virtual reality is probably going to be more popular as an entry-level option instead of $1,000 rig plus $600 or $800 for a headset and the fancy stuff. I think a lot of more people are going to be willing to spend $80 plus their phone. This thing, they showed off the prototype at Oculus Connect. And again, it really does look like Gear VR with a bunch of extra things because it's trying to develop it without having a standalone phone option. Oculus will also be selling earphones designed for virtual reality for $49, and it's going to ship later this year. They did finally give a release date for their Oculus Touch controllers, the little wands you hold in your hands that allow you to interact in virtual reality with your hands instead of using a control pad to move around and do stuff. It'll be $199. You can start pre-ordering on October the 10th. It'll ship December the 6th, again in time for Christmas. Not an accident. It'll be bundled with an extra sensor and games like VR Sports Challenge and Unspoken. And they're also going to allow you to buy an extra sensors for $79 each, shipping in December on the 6th as well, that allow for room scaling. So you'll actually be able to track you in your entire room, just like the HTC Vive.
AKA the holodeck for regular folks. It looks cool. The control's kind of a little funky. The part that, if anything, looks like the basic handles of any kind of video game controller, but of course you're not attached together. You're not like handcuffed, if you will. And it also has this little outer ring on it. I'm guessing it's a little bumper protector, so in case you spaz out, freak out, have to swing something, you won't cause permanent damage to hopefully yourself and whatever item you're hitting around.
Yeah, it's totally wireless, so there's no wires hanging around, or you can pull off your computer or anything. It reminds me of the Wii remote controls with like an extra sensor bar around your hand, so it can actually track your finger movements to a degree, including your thumbs up mode, and has little joysticks down there so you can move around and interact with stuff. But I think this is like that next step in virtual reality, interacting, where you're actually touching things with your hands, because that's one of the things that most people complain about or they notice right away when they're in virtual reality, especially with the Gear VR, which is a lower end model of virtual reality. It's, where are my hands? And so this kind of addresses that option or that issue.
What I kind of wished, even though we're semi into the future now, obviously with technology stuff, I'm surprised they didn't make those Minority Report gloves. Put it on so it actually reacts to your finger touch, like the way that one sign language translating gloves. But let's do it for like Minority Report, because as much as we want to have the Avengers holiday, the VR kind of table where you kind of like can manipulate things with your hands. Obviously, not everything's up to par, but if they could adapt that technology to gloves, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. That would be. I think that's kind of the next step. We've seen some virtual reality handset gloves that actually give you force feedback. Like there are bars coming off of it that kind of mimic the sense of force and pressure. So that's probably going to be the next way that we're doing things.
Something else to plug in, and hopefully battery replacement will be easy. All right, next story we're talking about is the robot baby on board. This week Toyota showed off the new companion robot. The Key Robo mini robot mimics a baby by waddling while seated and speaking with a high-pitched voice. The robot has a built-in camera that allows it to track people's faces as well as their emotions, apparently adjusting the way that it talks to you by depending on its mood. It will be able to grow grow with its users, learning what they like and dislike. It will sell for 39,800 yen, which is roughly about $392 American in Japan next year.
Yeah, so this is kind of a cool little project. I thought it was just interesting robot news to have it on the show. Toy had a really weird and kind of interesting commercial where they showed off the robot at some point, like admitted into the commercial. It's in Japanese, so there were subtitles, I guess, for it if you're really interested in. But it looks like a little baby robot, and it waddles around, and apparently it can look at your face, and it can tell how you're feeling, and it'll actually change what it says as it learns about you. So basically, it's gonna be listening to you all the time, learning about the things that you like and don't like based upon like facial recognition and some artificial intelligence. And it's meant to actually go in your car as well, and keep you awake and chat with you as you drive. So if you're a night worker and you need somebody to talk to keep you awake, this would be the kind of the companion robot. But it's a very interesting, very Japanese kind of thing where you have these little fun robots that just you can take anywhere with you, and they can do all these functions.
Well, like any kind of technology, robot, especially companion, the main question a lot of pervs want to know is, can you fuck it? Because pretty much it's like, don't get me wrong, that's the thing with any kind of robots they want to do is there's just the companion person is like, they want to talk to it. They want to, mimic and whatever. But yeah, pretty much down to the pervy kind of guys is like the love dolls. Creepy,
No,
but it's people doing it.
Definitely the baby mode. I'd hope that you couldn't have intercourse with it.
Well, as long as there's no blue dot hanging around your house and you're ordering a lot of them, I guess you'll be all right.
I guess you will be all right. But that's the way it goes sometimes, folks. Yeah. But moving on to the next tech story, we are going to be talking about Blade Runner. We're going to move on to our entertainment section. Blade Runner is finally getting a title release at this point. It's going to be Blade Runner's, the producers of Blade Runner have announced the sequel title this week, and they finally come up with the title. It's going to be called Blade Runner 2049, and it's scheduled to arrive in theaters October the 6th, 2017. So they're basically announcing the title about a year in advance of the actual movie. And we have they also released a quirky photo of the producers, writers, directors, and of course Harrison Ford and that other guy who just looks like he's talking to the grown-ups listening to the grown-ups talk.
My thing on we saw Blade Runner, right? I think you played it once, and I saw it.
Oh, absolutely! I totally forced you to watch Blade Runner. I think we both fell asleep because it's totally an older movie.
And once again, it's one of those movies that everyone else in the world watched but me. So I finally got to watch it. It was all right. Nothing, blew my mind on it. If anything, I think the only part that tripped me out the most, I think Edward James Olmos was in it as some kind of detective. But Harrison Ford, everybody loves him. Mr. Han Solo himself, Mr. Indiana Jones. Like, unless that's going to be his gimmick about getting killed off in every movie. I think, his sign off to like, I'm done with this shit. Like, stab, whatever.
That could definitely be his new thing from now on.
Yeah, but we'll see, because especially with the movie based in 2049. Because remember 2016, still no fucking flying cars. But anyways, we'll see what that version of the future will look, at least compared to now.
Yep. Now moving on to our next entertainment story.
Yeah, Wolverine 3 release date with an awesome poster. Hugh Jackman revealed his supposedly final outing as Wolverine will have a bit of an unusual title, Logan, and a release date of March 3rd, 2017. Jackman announced the film's title on the social media, posting a grainy image of a new poster for the film, revealing the Logan name, as well as the image of Wolverine holding a hand of a small child. Jackman also released a second page of the script detailing the first fight scene in the movie. The page definitely shows that the producers want to make the action up-notch now that they're making a rated R Wolverine movie. So I remember that Hugh Jackman posting on this. It's usually LA. LA has those huge monster posters that are like covering the side of the buildings, kind of thing. And this is pretty much, it was this image. So everybody's already speculating who's the hand, who does that belong to, blah blah blah, this and that.
Well, Deadpool officially posted. Ryan Reynolds said that it was his hand from that little baby movie, from Deadpool. I think it's going to be X-23. It's possibly, if you're going to the original Old Man Logan story from the comics, it's probably going to be like a baby Hulk.
A baby Hulk.
Yeah, yeah. Have you not read Old Man Logan before?
I flipped through pages, but never got to actually read the book.
Yeah,
So
in the Old Man Logan storyline, Logan's I think like 150, 200 years, whatever it is. Like the world, it's post-apocalyptic. The world's divided into like several mutant base camps, where they're like descendants of like the old superheroes. Like the Hulk is probably one of the only other original superhero that's still alive because of his healing factor, but he's kind of degenerated into this. Well, him and She-Hulk kind of had their own species
yeah, I was gonna say
of
it became like
superheroes.
yeah, it
So it's
became
very
like
incestuous, where they have
inbreeding.
inbreeding and there's a bunch of children, and the Wolverine kind of cuts him up as they attack him, and so this might be the hand of little baby Hulk. That's like one of the descendants of the Hulk series.
There's Mr. Danny. Yeah, Danny's one of the ones that actually puts up those posters on the side of the building. So man,
Shout out to Danny Martinez in the chat
oh
room.
yeah, oh yeah. So that's amazing, sir. Because I saw your videos, and oh my god, you got balls on you to hopefully you strap on yourself and don't fly off, especially with this holiday season. More posters are gonna be putting up. But yeah, the inbreeding Hulk thing, that was the part that tripped me out about the old man Logan thing. So it was like I don't know. You ever watch X Files?
Yeah, yeah.
You see the Peacock family episode?
I don't recall, but I'm sure it's spectacularly rare, like most. So, do you have any guess as to who the kid's hand is in the poster?
Well, of course, everybody wants X-23.
X-23 is an option now.
You can't really tell, the hand doesn't look, well, especially being a kid hand, doesn't really look feminine, doesn't look anything like that. You don't see claws coming out of the kid hand.
Yeah, but one of the things I do notice about the poster is that it's all cut up. Like the hand on the poster is cut up. So maybe the fact that Logan's on his last days because his healing factor is finally failing him after, 150
He has
years.
a little slit on his knuckle.
Yeah, not on his knuckle. Also, if you look up a little higher in the picture, he also has another cut on his forearm, which hasn't healed up yet. So it kind of indicates to me that his healing factor is working slower or not at all possibly at this point. So when he, pulls the claws out, they might not necessarily, heal up right away like they used to. And again, according to the script note, he's an older Logan, even though he's still an amazing fighter.
Yeah. So I'm gonna check it out. I've seen all his other movies. As long as it's not directed by Bryan Singer, so everyone knows my hatred towards him. But I want to see what's gonna go on. I think they did. Do you remember who was supposed to be the villain in it?
I don't think they've actually said at all who the villain in this one's going to be. But it's something to look forward to. This is an Old Man Logan story. In my opinion, I think they're still going with that storyline, or at least inspired by it. But Hugh Jackman said that this is his final time as that character. I don't know if that's really going to be the case, but we're also going to see Patrick Stewart in there as like a really old Patrick Stewart. They released that photo as well of him looking all super 100 years old kind of thing. Also, I think in that storyline, Wolverine kills Professor X at some time in the past, and he's kind of haunted by his, psychic spiritual ghost. So that might be what this is as well. Yeah. But moving on into some other entertainment news, we're going to talk about Thor Ragnarok. Spoilers! So if you don't want any spoilers about that particular film, pause for the next 2 minutes so you won't miss anything. And go. Okay, so Thor Ragnarok is out July 28, 2017. As Schmoes Knows has a scoop this week, the Ragnarok isn't the cataclysmic event in this film. So Ragnarok doesn't refer to a great ending of the world. Rather, it's the name of the planet that Thor and Hulk find themselves stranded on. There were hints of this at San Diego Comic-Con when they showed off the Hulk gladiator armor and weapon. So it looks like Thor Ragnarok's borrowing several of those plot elements from that story. Apparently, Thor and Hulk have to fight their way out of a space gladiatorial pits hosted by Jeff Goldblum's character, the Grandmaster. That's also where we're going to meet a new heroine, Valkyrie, and Scourge, the Executioner, who may be more sympathetic in this incarnation of that particular storyline. So this to me makes this movie better, not any particularly worse in my opinion. I personally love the Planet Hulk Gladiator version of that storyline. It's really interesting, action oriented. It gives the Hulk a chance. This is one of the first. Well, I can't say it's one of the most popular versions where the Hulk isn't just some stupid attacking brute. He actually starts speaking, giving opinions. and he's not overpowered. Like on this particular world, he can be hurt and killed, which makes it more for the audience invested in the character's survival, because now all of a sudden Hulk is not super overpowered. He's weakened by the trip to planet Horror, in this case Ragnarok, and he's actually has people who can match him in his weakened state. So it makes for a more interesting film, in my opinion.
So looking at the IMDb for the Thor Ragnarok movie, quite a bit of characters. It looks like there's a possibility that that Mr. Hulk himself in the Hulk attire will actually be speaking, and there's a rumored voice that Lou Ferrigno might provide the speaking voice for the Hulk, which would be like kind of, if anything, if you guys watch the animated movies, the World War Hulk, or Planet Hulk, should I say, he speaks. Hulk speaks. He's not just a dumb grunt brute kind of thing. He actually speaks his mind, and he says like what he likes, what he doesn't like. Like he didn't like how he was treated on Earth and all that kind of thing. So
there's a whole animated film that covers the entire Hulk, Planet Hulk's beginning series. So I definitely encourage you to go watch it. It's a great animated film. But you're right. He's more intelligent, and the Hulk character is featured more than the Bruce Banner character.
Exactly. And hopefully we'll see, according to some of the pictures that they're showing, it looks like a version of the Enchantress hopefully might appear. I know she's a different kind of character, though, from compared the Enchantress in the little green attire to I think she's like almost like a Reaper-ish kind of girl with the over-exaggerated horn headdress kind of thing. Forgot the name of her character, but yeah, it's just, looks like the little teaser posters. That's what's going to be appearing.
Absolutely. There's so much to look forward to this film, and we have a while to fill all the CGI stuff is finished. But I definitely look forward to watching it.
All right, next movie that all you Potterheads might be happy for is Harry Potter's films are back in theaters. IMAX and Warner Brothers are teaming up to screen all 8 Harry Potter films for 1 week, starting October 13th. Coming right up. The shows come a month before November 18th release of the Potter spinoff, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The event also marks out the first time both Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the first 2 movies in the series, will be shown in IMAX theaters. So it's almost like the way they did that Marvel / Hunger Games / whatever movie marathons to kind of get ready for the new one. And if you're a hardcore, why not? It's, hopefully they might get a little reward, maybe like a little special one, the way they did with the Avengers marathons, where they actually gave them medals. So we'll see.
Yeah, if you can watch all the films all at once, you definitely deserve your medal, because you just gave that theater like $150 of your cash at least for this
movie?
Special event. But there are definitely a lot of Potterheads who are going to, and again, Potterheads, not the other one, who are going to watch all these films, including some of us, including possibly us, depending upon when we can watch them. They might bring it up in multiple days, but you never know. But again, this hit for fans of the films, it's great, and for the studios who want to make more money off the franchise, also as well. I'm more excited personally about the new film, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find It, set in like the 1920s era, in the United States, which will be the first film in that franchise who actually takes the United States as the location for this fantastic story.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait. If anything, I want to set like a dare challenge to somebody to enjoy the snacks in the concessions and whatever, but who cannot go to the bathroom for the whole Harry Potter marathon?
Absolutely nobody, unless you're bringing a colostomy bag.
Oh yeah,
I think you're gonna have to take some breaks at some point.
Oh yeah.
Okay, moving on to our next story, some Marvel and Netflix news. Netflix has announced that Iron Fist will premiere on March 17th. They had a small teaser, so it's coming up relatively soon. We just got Luke Cage, which I'm loving, but I'm also looking forward to seeing the Iron Fist mystical white guy with who knows kung fu, and how he's going to meet up with Luke Cage at some point in 2017. They also announced that they're starting the filming for The Punisher. There have been some leaked set photos for that particular franchise, and including an announcement of 2 additional roles for characters. Ebon Moss-Bachrach will star as Micro, a former NSA analyst who builds weapons and techs for Frank Castle, and also Amber Rose Revam, who joins the cast as Dinah Madini, a highly trained, sophisticated Homeland Security agent who might be the foil or the agent trying to track down the Punisher.
So it looks good. Little poster's kind of a little funky for Iron Fist. It's the dragon outline, if you will, but it's not like full-fledged wings. It's like the dragon body and a smoke outline for the wings.
Well, have you seen the video for it? It's just a brazier with the smoke coming off of it,
Yeah.
and eventually it forms into that particular logo.
Yeah. My thing is, yes, I binged on Luke Cage. It was amazing. Totally can't wait till hopefully they make season 2 and whatnot. And my thing is, I want to see the whole friendship / collaboration / whatever, the whole Heroes for Hire between the between Iron Fist and Luke Cage.
I think that might be part of the series as far as like the Iron Fist one. He comes back from his mystical journey after the plane crash, and he runs into Luke Cage, in the hood basically, and they form a little bromance, and they help each other out in like this huge fight. I think the Heroes for Hire part might be towards the tail end of that particular Netflix series, but I definitely think that's going to be a part of it because I don't see them setting it up before the Defenders come out.
That's true.
So I
can't wait till that happens.
I think they'd have to set it up in the Iron Fist series.
Yeah. And as for the Punisher, it looks good. They showed a little teaser poster for that as well with the Punisher logo, with the skull, with the bullet holes in it, of course. So it looks good. I can't wait till their Daredevil, because all these Marvel shows, they left them in like really not bad cliffhangers, but cliffhangers that makes you just really want to see what's going to happen next.
Definitely some interesting stuff. I think we're going to see a Jessica Jones before we see Daredevil, if I'm not mistaken, about the scheduling. I think Daredevil's been pushed back a little bit, maybe past the Defenders as well. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But we're definitely seeing Luke Cage now. We're going to see Iron Fist next, and then we're going to see, I think, a second season of Jessica Jones. And then we're going to see the Defenders as a whole. And then I think we're going to see a third season of Daredevil.
Yeah. Can't wait for it. It's just so good. And of course, they've been connecting with the movies too. So of course, Doctor Strange coming out pretty soon.
Quick shout out to Leia Ann Armenta, Eliana Acosta, Yolanda Antiveros, who are watching the show live on our live feed in our chat room. Hey everybody. But that's kind of it for the show at this point, everyone. That's it for the podcast. We're done with our news and entertainment stuff. So if you guys are just joining us on the live feed, we're just about finished. So you guys can review the podcast or watch it, the final finished version with all our little videos and images that pop up at geekbytespodcast.com.
Plus, you could always say, hey, hi, questions, whatever things about it. Something that you guys might know that we don't know, because I know New York Comic Con, I don't know if it's completed or if it's still happening right now, but they've been showing some things. I saw a little trailer for this Power Rangers side-scroller fighting game that's going to be coming out for both PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, it looks very Flash-based to me, so I wasn't impressed with the graphics, but if it's a cheap fighting game, why not? Yeah.
Just for the nostalgia, it looked like fun. And other than that, of course, some of the toy exclusives, that's a me kind of thing. But nothing else, none other crazy announcements other than just posters, teasers, and whatnot for the Marvel shows coming up.
Yep, and Yolanda in the chat room says, hey guys, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Yolanda, as well. Namaste. Okay, so that's it for the show, folks. If you like the podcast, you want to support us, you can always do so at
geekbytespodcast.com/support.
Absolutely. And so that's going to be it for the show. Thank you, everyone, very much for watching. We can't do this without you and your support and watching and listening and telling others about us. So we definitely appreciate you taking the time to watch our little podcast and kind of geek out with us about those entertainment and tech stuff. So we thank you very much for listening and watching. But for Geek Bytes Podcast, I am Ramon Mejia.
Edgar Acosta.
And for the podcast, we say thank you very much. And remember, folks, now go geek out about something.
Bye-bye.